Hello everyone. I was not able to get to the Kokugikan today, so I'll have to give you the wrestler quotes only. And if you haven't seen the matches yet, you may wish to come back later. Abi's resurgence continued in Division 3 with a fourth straight win since opening day, this time with a scoop throw on 19-year-old Shinohara. "I'm pleased to get the applause," he said of the loud reception his win received, before repeating his claim that he's growing as a man, responsible for his wife and kid, and focused on the good sumo needed to further his rise. Division 2 saw Ura resort to another leg pull to help turn the tables on Yago and pick up a fifth win from 7. "But I was outdone for much of that one," he conceded. "I have the injury, so that bout ending was hardly ideal. I'm aiming for the winning score, but there's still a long way to go." To widespread excitement, Ura's next opponent has been announced as Enho, who still leads the division despite dropping his first bout against Azumaryu today, losing to a pulling outer arm throw. "I was alright until midway, but let him on the belt first, which wasn't good. That curbed my movement, and yes, he got me," was Enho's verdict, having eyed the heavens in frustration at the moment of defeat. "I was overthinking things," he added. He confessed to the career-best 6-match winning run playing slightly on his mind going into the bout, and expects this loss to loosen him up tomorrow. In Division 1, his Kanazawa colleague Takayama ended his losing run today by upending Kaisei with a fine inner arm throw. "I felt about as low as you can," he said of his 5 straight defeats, "and that made people looking out for me feel bad too. But a win, for sure, is the best medicine, and I can finally sleep well tonight." Hidenoumi was frustrated not to beat Terutsuyoshi after putting a firm clamp on his inside right. "I thought that was the moment to drive, but he's great at throwing you off, and that's exactly what he did," Hide said. Chiyotairyu confessed it was awkward fighting long-term acquaintance Tsurugisho in the Battle of Daido Junior High School. He was happy to win, obviously, and will now try to put a run together. Kotoeko showed extraordinary clamping strength against far larger Ryuden, and put his win down to a never-say-die spirit. "I wanted to fight on the inside as usual, but it was good my arms came up with the right reaction," he said of his fine winning move. Chiyoshoma put Midorifuji's ankle on the clay just before he fell to earn a win by judge's decision. "I thought I'd lost, to be honest," he said, and claimed that he'd fought badly and won for the second day running. Hoshoryu survived 2 armlock throws before getting an inside right to combine with an outer leg trip and take the win off Aoiyama. "I just told myself to watch for his slapdown and go forward, forward, forward," he said. "I'm pleased to have fought real focused sumo today." Chiyonokuni took Akiseyama to ground with a flying arm pull, but refused to praise himself, saying he'd been attacked too much for comfort. Akiseyama, on the other hand, said, "I always lose to armlock throws and things like that. If I just stood still to set myself, it might have been a different story." Tobizaru feels he owes his 5 wins to an attacking mentality, symbolized by a stinging shot to Ichinojo's bloated face. He added he had little time for defensive sumo. Tamawashi labored to victory over Kotonowaka, then explained that his high thrusting style is unsuited to blasting foes out in one go. He was also unhappy to have had his armpit breached at the beginning. Towards the end of the program, Daieisho thrust out Takanosho less one-sidedly than on day 7 in January, but was still pleased with his moves. "I have the same desire as last time, but some of my weaknesses have been on show," was how he explained 5 defeats thus far. Terunofuji once again clamped Mitakeumi's belt with elbows wide to achieve the force-out. Afterwards he said, "I'm always brushing up my belt technique, and today's grip was exactly as planned. Even if I don't get an inside right, so long as I output all my strength, I'll win." Meisei bamboozled Takakeisho with a dive for a frontal left grip, then stood up to his shoves to push him out. "I'm so pleased because that went just as planned," he told NHK, noting the two had practiced many times pre-pandemic. "I felt my sumo was sharp and focused, and there are several different tachiais I can do." 3-loss Takakeisho, meanwhile, was stung by suggestions he lacks sumo rhythm, saying, "That is not the case. I have another match tomorrow, and all I've got to do is get on with it." Kiribayama marvellously used Asanoyama's inside right against him, reaching round for the outside left and swinging him straight out. Sadly, as it was just seconds before 6 p.m, his NHK interview was cut off after about 5 words. The sizable earthquake that occurred in northeast Japan just 10 minutes after close of play was certainly felt in the Kokugikan, meaning several interviews and write-ups have been delayed. I will look out for Shodai and Takayasu's comments in particular after their gritty wins today, and include them in my post-tournament roundups. See you with some more videos tomorrow.